Hello friends, I am Kanchan from Edified Learning and you are welcome to the show. Today we have Sitesh Srivastav who has a deep interest in corporate training. He is also closely associated with radio broadcasting and television programming. So welcome to the show Sitesh. How are you doing today?
Good day, Kanchan. It's always good to talk to you. It's a beautiful afternoon in Bangalore. How are you and how is Hyderabad?
Yeah, everything is fine. Hyderabad is good. It's pouring since morning. It's a really pleasant environment. And since morning, so many things are happening on television. So I'm sitting in front of television. Before I was, I'm here. I wanted to talk to you. So we just patched in this conversation. Before that, I was watching television and there was a very interesting news which is about our defense, about LAC conflict. And today, our defense minister categorically stated in the Rajya Sabha that no one can stop us from patrolling our traditional area. And so I think a little bit here and there, tension between India and China is mounting, I guess. What do you say?
Kanchan, this is quite evident. What is happening today with China is because of its own issues, its own problems, and its long standing human rights issues. There is no hiding that China is the new superpower. Nobody says no to it. Uh, but the way the aggressiveness is being shown by the Chinese side towards the Indian border is nothing new. This has started with 1962 when we were unprepared. Our armies were not that equipped, and uh, we were never expecting. The slogan that time was Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai, and still there was a surprise attack, and it lasted for so many days. And
I
I
think this
hear
war is also a point of discussion because I have heard, I don't know, that even Indian soldiers were not prepared because they were not having even boots at that point of time.
right, right, and therefore one side we were talking about Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai, and at that point of time there was another institution that was being built, non-aligned movement, which was called NAM, and despite all of those friendship gestures, it was a surprise from Chinese side, and the amount of land that was taken, I'm told it is a 100,000 square kilometer of land that China has not returned. After that also, I mean, that was 1962. Today we are in 2020, and we see the problems in the Galwan Valley and Pangong Lake and all the northern Nepal side intrusions. You know what? In today's world, it is very, very tough to think, from that India would not retaliate. That is one thing about it. The other thing is, I feel strongly that the Chinese side is trying to hide what has happened in their Wuhan labs, which has spread across the world as a pandemic, which they don't want to own. They don't want to take any accountability towards it. And in fact, they are more aggressive at this point of time. So this standoff at the border is something which is uncalled for, and probably they would know it, and they probably know it now that it is not a 1962 anymore.
Yes, I
And they
think there's another economic potential fallout also because recently India government has banned more than 150 application, which somewhere was related to China's monetary aspect also. So I think that is also one of the major thing. What do you say?
So, Kanchan, it is important to note that the applications that were banned by the government, those applications are more or less, they are, I would say, the nature, the amount of business that India and China engage into. In that perspective, those 100 or 150 apps or banning is more or less a symbolic gesture. The real crux between India and China is the dependence on the manufacturing and the control of the trade over the raw material. Yes, over the years we have Chinese companies, taking care of our Indian cricket, and even in the television sets, electronics, non-electronics, software, and then every Diwali time we start saying, let's not buy Chinese. But to succeed in that in a true sense, Kanchan, we will have to strengthen Make in India. The initiative Make in India has to be really strengthened. And I have been saying since the beginning of the pandemic that this is the best time for all the countries to actually divert the manufacturing capabilities and capacity from China and bring it to their own countries, because it is very, very important to grow the local market, the local employment, the local skills, which China is one way or other controlling today. So if we don't want to repeat a third colonial power or fourth colonial power, it is important that we do our own Make in India. I mean, the Chinese companies are great in manufacturing, all appreciation to them. But in more ways or other, we have actually given the controls of our own manufacturing. And now what is happening in the border with India, what is happening in the South China Sea with Japan, what they are doing by showing their eyes to Taiwan, all of these things are actually bringing a concern about a third world war, which today the planet cannot take it. We do not have a capacity to take it. This pandemic has taken away all the economic growth for, I don't know, back for how many decades. So I think it is important for China to understand, and I think our friends who will stand with India will also engage with China to make them understand that the military standoff is not doable, not feasible, and not something that they need to think more seriously. What do you say?
Yes, I think that you have raised a very valid point when you talk that we have to be vocal about local. We have to bring many industries which somehow are vanished. Like, for example, the pottery of Meerut, which used to be very popular, or the lock making of Uttar Pradesh, which again I think in Meerut only, which was a very, very specialized work which vanished. Now the government and the people coming together, and they are starting up. There are many startups which are mushrooming around, and I think most of them are successful. But coming to the point with China aggression or the conflict which we are undergoing currently, what I feel is that we have to somehow pacify this, and we have to look towards the economic growth of both the countries, because China, I think, should remember that they have only fought one war, which is 1962. So yet again, we have to find out the military capability of Chinese as compared to India, because India has quite a professional army. So I think things has to be pacified, and we should look forward for a better future for the people of respective countries, because I think this political conflict between Mr. Modi and the president is also fueling this conflict. So I think we have to come out. But what you say? What is the future of this conflict? How you see this?
So I think Kanchan, as I said earlier, this is nothing but to deflect the world attention away from Wuhan and the coronavirus. And everywhere there is a proof that it appeared in Wuhan lab. It traveled from China to all over the world. China did not close their own borders. They did it very, very late. And they then tried to control the World Health Organization. And they gave misinformation about all of this. And today we are where we are. We never thought that in this world the airspace would get closed. Children would be sitting at home. And in this modern world where Elon Musk is trying to go to Mars in 2024, people are dying from a virus. So that is something China is trying to deflect by bringing in these kind of standoff issues with India, with Taiwan, in the South China Sea, with Japan, and in one way or other, they also support North Korea. So they need to understand this is not a medieval world. This is not 19th century. This is not 18th century. And the another thing that is very, very important to realize for all of us, China has last 50 years or 70 years or 75 years, China has not fought any single big battle with any country. With India, they could do it in 1962, which cannot be termed as a war because India was not prepared. So what I feel is that the Chinese army, there is unrest in the Chinese army. There is an unrest within their own government where Xi Jinping is trying to become the monarch kind of a ruler. And he's trying to bring his views and values on the, I mean, it looks so funny that they used a 1962 trick day before yesterday. In the borders, they are playing Punjabi songs and they are playing Hindi sermons from the other side of the Himalayas, where they are trying to demote the Indian soldiers. And this is a 1962 trick. So I'm saying that, I mean, this seems to be very funny, and at the same time, this also seems to that they still think that India is a 1962 kind of a country. So I don't think they would get into that kind of a warfare. And today's warfare is more about without firing a weapon, you win the war. And that's what the Chinese thinker Lao Tzu said in his famous book. So, but we must stand up from the ban of the Chinese products, the Chinese, the trade imbalance. We should try to reduce by bringing in more make in India. And I think we would not be a lame lamb as we used to be in those days, Kanchan.
I think good sense prevail from in both the sides, and hope
Yes,
so. And as usual,
yes.
it is wonderful talking to you, Sitesh. We'll catch up tomorrow with another topic. Till then, bye bye. Take care.